Hey there, welcome. I'm Mel, and this is Rachel Scott. And this is a tea talk. Rachel is I almost called you an entertainment expert.
I'm an entertainment expert.
Well, and an educational expert.
I'm an entertaining educational
She's a very entertaining educational expert, master yoga teacher.
I can't.
Great, yeah. If we ever want to use math.
Decent.
Very decent.
Yeah.
Very, and a really good friend.
Yay.
And this is part of our mentoring series for teachers, new teachers, colleagues alike.
Yeah.
And we're focusing today on more the business aspects of yoga, though we definitely are getting into authenticity and integrity and all those amazing things that help us grow our business, right?
Yes.
A heightened, elevated business. So what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about a tricky subject, which is how, as a yoga teacher, do you deal with stalkers? I know. Well, we if you haven't seen it yet, there's another talk about sexuality in yoga and how we promote. And so this is a really good follow-up chat to a very complicated subject about, being objectified as a yoga teacher, the relationships that we create with our students, and how do we manage that in a way that has integrity and boundaries and safety. So have you ever been stalked, Mel? Okay.
I have. Have you?
I have had mental health and hate mail issues. So not a sexual stalking as much as someone who continues to get in touch with me in a very dysfunctional way.
Inappropriate way.
Yeah, very weird.
I guess the first thing that I want to offer is that I do believe boundaries, energetic, emotional boundaries are super important. And that is, as teachers, our accountability, for sure. So, I want to hold that. It's not the teacher's fault. We can't blame the teacher and say, what did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do?
You were too nice to them.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have talked to them after class.
Yeah. And so there's a portion of really due for us to look at ourselves okay, where were my boundaries blurred? Where did I connect with the student in a way that hopefully was caring and maybe was in any way crossing a boundary, right? Right, crossing a boundary in a way, and we talked about this in the previous video that you mentioned, in a way that maybe is subconsciously manipulative. I want you to rely on me. We're building this sense of
sticky
intimacy.
And I think if you can answer, to look at ourselves first and say, okay, what's my role? So once you have evaluated and looked into yourself, I think it's also a helpful question to say, if this student were a healthy, normal person, you have your ideal healthy student in mind, would what I have done then crossed a boundary, or would that be considered? And that way you can sort of piece apart what's my responsibility, and then what's intention, and then what kind of is not on your plate.
Yes.
Right? So.
Because any form of when we're talking about stalking, let's be clear. Stalking is not hey, you want to go for tea? That's not stalking.
That's not stalking.
Okay.
Someone coming to your class all the time is not stalking.
No. It's, someone saying, oh, I saw that you posted this, or whatever. None of that's stalking. Let's be clear.
And if someone says to you, oh, I know, I'm such your stalker, that probably means they're not a stalker.
No. Yeah, they're probably a fan.
A fan.
Well, how wonderful. How nice when you appreciate someone, okay? We're talking about inappropriate connection to you, and that can grow, right?
And an inability to hear boundaries that are established. Mm-hmm. So someone who basically doesn't take no for an answer, you can feel it. You can feel it.
Yes. What I'd like to empower you to do, that if you have that kind of situation going on, is to start to document right away. So first, document right from the very beginning. As soon as you get a feeling of like, they're not taking no for an answer, I feel like I've been very clear. I would make sure that the studio knows, if you're at a studio system or a gym or whatever, that they know that there was something inappropriate. I just want to log that.
Oh, and just to note, she said, I feel like I've been very clear. This also means that the step of this is you need to be very clear.
Yes. Yes.
In a kind, loving way.
Yes. And log in your own log. I just want to finish that log. Make sure you have notes of like, what day, what time, what was said, right? If there's any voicemails or anything, they have your number. Save that. Emails, save that.
Save the emails.
And just as Rachel said, be very clear. Be very clear. You can be kind. Thank you so much for this gift or whatever. It feels a little inappropriate. I just want to be clear that, I really enjoy having you in class.
I enjoy our student-teacher relationship, and for me, a gift in this context doesn't feel appropriate. I appreciate the intention, but no thank you. Mm-hmm. Or I appreciate that you want to walk me to my car. I'm actually perfectly safe, and no thank you. Like, I'm good. If you want to have a chat in the tea lounge for the next 5 minutes, we could do that until I need to leave, so that there are boundaries and parameters, and you can see if they keep pushing those things.
Yes, and log them.
And log them. Yeah, so you have a record. I mean, it does come to this where if you go and file a police report, again, just to have things on the record, that you have a clear record, dates and times, and in an instance. And what Mel said about telling your studio as well, like,
make sure they know.
Yeah, if there comes a point, if you're like, this doesn't feel good, and I want some protection and I want some awareness around this. I've been on the studio side of things where we have had conversations with stocky students and said, it's no longer appropriate for you to go to this teacher's class. So the studio can step in and be an advocate and an ally for you if someone is not clear about boundaries. And that may come from mental health stuff, like you don't know what's going on in their world. But yeah, they can step in and be an advocate for you before you have to escalate, for example, to a police report.
Yes. Yeah. If anything else, I feel like once you're getting into police reports and restraining orders and things like that, I don't want to necessarily go there. And as I say them, I've lived through that.
Yeah.
So
I've lived through police reports.
Yeah.
This I should also say, everyone, that's like, how long have we been teaching? And this has happened to me. Twice. I guess
you want to say twice? Yeah, for me.
And so it's like this happens
It's very rare.
It's very rare.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Think of all the students that you've had in your life who have been huge fans, huge Mel fans with perfectly appropriate and loving boundaries.
And I was a huge student fan.
Oh yeah.
I'm a fan of my students. They're not my students.
Yeah.
Fan of those who come to class.
And I've been fans of teachers. I've been
for
like
sure.
a little acolyte and fangirl for sure.
I'm a fangirl of Rachel.
I was all a fangirl of Mel's. So
this is the gong.
this is the gong.
Yeah. So do we have anything else we want to say about this? Well, you can always have a private conversation. If there's something specific going on for you, you can contact me, you can contact Rachel, either one of us. And it's good. You should talk about it and talk about it to those who may have further experience.
Communicate, be clear, document.